Gwen, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you my best and worst of 2015. Some of these I was just disappointed by rather than, they were the worst books that I have read, but I wanted to use a catchy title, so the best and worst of 2015. Here we go. These are going to be a little bit controversial, but these are my own opinions. This is my channel, this is my reading taste, so take it for what you will. Coming in at number 10 is Chew Volume 1 by John Layman and Rob Guillory. I didn't like this story as much as I thought I was going to. The premise sounds really cool, and I like the little premise, but the storyline and the chicken flu or whatever that is, didn't really like it. Don't know if I'm going to move on. If I do, it will be from the library. But some of these put this on the best, so I don't know. Next up is A Winter by Marissa Meyer. This is one that I was just really disappointed with. I liked it, but I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I have loved Marissa Meyer's writing from the very start. I love the Lunar Chronicles. It's one of my favorite series of all time, probably my favorite series of all time. But this one just tried to do a little bit too much. You're introducing new characters, you're going to a totally different setting, and yeah, I have a full book review of this, so I will link that for you if you are interested in my full thoughts. Their book is one that I was so excited for. It was my most anticipated. I think it was like number 1 on my most anticipated reads of 2015, and I got it as part of my uppercase subscription box, and that is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. The premise sounds amazing, the cover is amazing, but the story was not. So this story follows a brother and a sister as they live in this town where fairies live amongst humans, and there is a horned boy in this glass coffin. It sounds really good, but it just wasn't fleshed out, and I'm kind of realizing that about Holly Black. The next book is one that I have also heard people love, and that is The Unbecoming of Dyer. I read this around Halloween time, I believe, and yeah, I really didn't enjoy it. It wasn't really spooky, and it wasn't exactly what I was looking for at all. I have heard that people like books 1 and 2, but then the third book, they're just kind of over it and they don't really like the ending. But I'm wondering if that's like a thing, and I will dislike books 1 and 2 and like the third book. I don't know, but it is what it is. I was disappointed by First and Then by Emma Mills. I love contemporary, but this one's like relatively short. I really didn't enjoy it. It said it had a lot of Pride and Prejudice references in it. I didn't really get that from it. Maybe it's because I've never read it. And it also has like a Friday Nights feel. This was just average to me. It was good, but it wasn't great. This actually made my list. It's by one of my favorite authors, Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. This is her take on the fan fiction of Simon Snow from Fangirl. I do have a full review of this on my channel, so I will link it for you. But yeah, I was just really disappointed by this. Rainbow Rowell is my favorite author, so I was really sad when I didn't like her book that she put out this year. Hopefully she will go back to contemporary, adult, YA. I don't really care. I just want a contemporary from her. The next book on my list is maybe controversial, but I know quite a few people that didn't like it because it has bits and pieces of so many other dystopian type books, and that is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I probably will not be moving on to the second book unless I get a free copy somehow. I'm not really, the cover was amazing and I was hearing rave reviews about it, but then for some reason I just didn't want to pick it up myself, but when I got it as part of my uppercase subscription box, I read it and I didn't enjoy it. It's basically a world set where there's red bloods and silver bloods, and the red bloods are like the servants to the silver bloods because they have power and they kind of rule. But then our main character, even though she has red blood, she has powers. So next two are going to be really controversial. I didn't like Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. Poor Sylvia. I sent her this book for her birthday and she didn't like it, and neither did I. I don't know if it's just I had such high expectations, or if it just drug on, or because it was fantasy, or I don't know what I didn't exactly like about it. I just didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I do have the next 2 books on my shelf, and I'm wondering if I'm going to pick them up. I don't know. And then the last books that I want to talk to you about are the Grisha trilogy. I really loved Rune and Rising after page 106. I do have a full discussion, reading experience, review, thoughts, video coming next. But yeah, this just wasn't as amazing as people said it was. It wasn't that amazing to me. So I know a lot of people are talking about this, that they want to get to it in 2016. Sylvia is, I know somebody else is, and they're so excited about it. I hope you love it so much more than me. I really liked the third book. Let me know your thoughts when you start reading it. So those are the books that are on my worst list of 2015. Again, these were my own opinions. It's my channel. I can say whatever I want here. So now let's talk about the books that I absolutely loved in 2015. Okay, first I'll talk to you about two books that I actually don't have physical copies of, and that is Drama by Raina Telgemeier. I picked this up on a whim. I had never read anything from her. It's a middle grade graphic novel, and the story is so cute. And the main character kind of works on a set of a play at her school, and I love drama, I love theater, I love acting, I love set design, I love the story. It's so cute, the colors, everything. It's a quick read because it's a graphic novel. Pick it up if you haven't. I got it on my Overdrive app, you know, using it through my local library, and of course I read it in one sitting. So cute. The other one that I want to talk about is Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. That was the first book that I ever read by Colleen Hoover, and I just loved it. I know it's a little bit controversial. Some people say it's negative, it has like negative things in it, and you know, maybe it does, but I think they all like hold their own within the story. I do have a full review of that, so I will link that for you. Yeah, I really loved it, and it just made me want to read more Colleen Hoover books. The rest of the books I do have copies of. They're in no particular order except for my top three, so let's just get started. I really liked Tears for Tess by Pepper Winters. This is self-published. It's a new adult dark contemporary romance. It is not for everybody. It has a lot of trigger warnings. I read this at the beginning of the year. I did do a full review. If you're even remotely interested in this, please watch that review so I can tell you all the stuff about it because there are a lot of things that you need to know before you go into this book. The next one that I read and really enjoyed was Gillian Flynn's short story, The Grownup, and this was part of an anthology that George R.R. Martin had put together. It had a different name, but I read the short story. Absolutely amazing twists and turns that you wouldn't think that she could do in 65 pages, and she pulled it off, and she pulled it off well. This book on my best books is Morgan Matson's Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, contemporary romance, traveling story, playlists. So cute. Like I said, Marissa Meyer is one of my favorite authors, and of course I had to include Cress on my list of bests. I know winter made my worst, and I think that's just because too much was trying to happen in one book and the strategies just drug on and on. But in Cress, it was so cute. I actually fell in love with some characters that I didn't previously like in the other books, and I read this book in one sitting. This list would definitely not be complete without mentioning Saga Volumes 1 through 5 by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. This is a comic that have been turned into trades, and the illustrations, the story, the world building, the characters. This is mature audiences only. There is some nudity, there is the language and all of that, and it is pretty graphic sometimes. But it's so good. The story is so good. So good, and I'm so excited that I have all 5 of these in trades. It actually, you know, took me a little bit to get them all, but I have them. Top 3 books of 2015 in no particular order except for number 1 is Through the Evernight by Veronica Rossi. I have talked about this book so much. I love it. I actually loved the whole trilogy. I really did. The first book had a huge info dump in the beginning, and it took me a while to get into, but once I did, I couldn't stop reading it. I actually marathoned the trilogy, and I can't wait to read her new book, Riders, coming out this year. It's going to be so exciting. I know I'm not going to compare it to this trilogy because it's not. It's totally different, but I'm so excited. The next book I want to talk to you about is The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord. This was so cute. It wasn't even on my radar. It's a contemporary romance. It has nerdy boys in it, which I have the hugest crush on nerdy boys. I mean, my husband is a computer programmer. Okay, guys. So, and a gamer. So I love nerdy boys. I loved Max Watson. So Paige's first boyfriend died in a swimming accident, and she's trying to like get over that and have a really good school year. So she kind of like plans everything out, and then Max Watson happens. I do have a full review of this on my channel. I know tons of people that have put this in their top list of 2015. If you haven't read it and you like contemporary, I highly recommend you check it out. And coming in at number 1, and it should be no surprise if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, because I've talked about it, raved about it, and yeah, gushed about it and all about it. But that is The Giver by Lois Lowry. I got this for free at the book thing in Baltimore, Maryland, and thank goodness I did, because this book was not even on my radar. I knew it was out there, I knew there was a movie, and I still haven't seen the movie. I need to get on that. But anyway, I had no plans to really read this, but I needed a short, quick book between like normal reading, and I was going to start a readathon. So it was really short. I was like, I'll pick it up and read it. Oh my gosh, blown away. Couldn't believe it. Absolutely amazing. Characters, world, everything. Writing, excellent. Ugh, so freaking good. If you haven't read this book yet, what the heck are you doing with your life? I think I was the last person on earth to read it, but just in case there's people out there that haven't read it, read it. It's excellent. Anyway, those are my books that I have really enjoyed, or maybe not so much enjoyed this year. I hope 2016 is an amazing reading year for all of us. And yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Bye.